Post-fight thoughts, Dillian Whyte versus Brian Minto. Dillian Whyte wins by third round stoppage. I kind of got it right with my prediction. I said that I think Dillian Whyte would not go beyond 4 rounds for the first time in his career, and that was proved correct with him stopping Brian Minto in the third round. For my eyes, the problem with Brian Minto was that he was a late notice opponent. The size difference was very obvious. I think Dillian Whyte was 2.5 stone heavier, and you could kind of see that, and that corresponded with power. Dillian Whyte, you kind of sensed it was only a matter of time. Minto proved durable to an extent. I mean, there were 3 or 4 times Dillian Whyte landed on him on the first round. I've kind of been used to seeing Dillian Whyte's opponents collapse when Whyte lands on them with that much power. This was more of a sort of wearing down stoppage, and in many ways you could say that Brian Minto almost retired here. He took a punch that wobbled him. I think it might have affected his balance. It was kind of on the ear, and he kind of wobbled a bit and stayed down. He took a knee and stayed down, but you got the impression if his life depended on it, he could have made the count. But clearly, being short notice, having a sort of opponent mentality, he was kind of happy to stay down and take the paycheck. When he was fighting in the first 2 or 3 rounds, he did show some desire, and he tested Dillian Whyte a bit, and he came forward. Brian Minto isn't the slickest technician, but he throws punches in bunches, he throws combinations of hooks, and he tries to slug it out. And there were 1 or 2 defensive frailties exposed in Dillian Whyte's game, actually, I must say. Brian Minto, whilst he was a weak puncher, the size difference was so relevant, and he clearly couldn't hurt, and he couldn't rock Dillian Whyte with his lack of power. It was slightly concerning how he was able to land on Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte's work tonight wasn't exactly the cleanest. For me, he looked like he was stifling his work a bit, and it was slightly clumsy. It wasn't the most clinical performance from Dillian Whyte. Now, after the fight, he confirmed very much that the December date is on with Anthony Joshua. However, he did say he'd been carrying an injury into the fight, and it was affecting how he threw his jab, and I think he said it was a shoulder injury. Now, a lot of the lead up to Joshua Dillian Whyte's been about timing for Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte coming off a drug ban, Dillian Whyte not having his trainer, Dillian Whyte having an injury. Now, if we throw a new injury into the mix, it is questionable. That performance wasn't the most convincing I've ever seen. If you throw in an injury in there, is the timing going to be right for Dillian Whyte? I think he still brings certain dynamics to the fight which make it entertaining. The outside the ring thing, can he get in Joshua's head? It's going to be an explosive build-up. And he also has the power dynamic, Dillian Whyte can hit very, very hard, and we still haven't seen Anthony Joshua really take a proper power punch in a fight, so that's also going to be an entertaining dynamic to this fight. But for me, I'd give Dillian Whyte, I'd give him a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for his performance tonight. He took care of business. He stopped a guy in Brian Minto, and let's not forget, Brian Minto went 7 rounds with Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's known as a grade A prospect with grade A punching power. Dillian Whyte got him out of there a lot quicker than Joseph Parker. Brian Minto went 9 rounds with Marco Huck. Dillian Whyte got him out a lot quicker than Marco Huck. So it was a good win for Dillian Whyte. It's the biggest name on his resume. It's the top win of his career. But for me, his work was slightly stifled. His defence was slightly frail. And 6 or 7 out of 10, I think, is where I put this performance for him. Let me know your thoughts on this fight. How did you see it going? Many thanks for watching.